Hey guys, welcome back to Backseat Banter. Welcome back to Off the Bar Banter. My name is Brandon, and of course, I am joined with Ben. And in this episode of Off the Bar Banter, Ben and I will be discussing where Jadon Sancho is going to end up at. Is he still going to end up at United? Is he still going to maybe move elsewhere after the season in Borussia Dortmund? Uh, he's always been heavily linked to move back to the Prem. However, there have been reports that he could possibly go elsewhere. Maybe PSG is in the cards, maybe not. We're going to be discussing all of that in this episode of Off of Our Banter. Ben, let's just dive right into it. So, of course, we know that Sancho has been linked to a move to Manchester United for the past I don't know 2-3 summers now. It's been kind of like this rotating thing, this story that never ends at all. But the question still should be had, with the signing of Amad Diallo, with the fact that I think there might be other priorities that United have, given the fact that they need a striker, they need a center defensive midfielder, they need a center back. Should they still go after Sancho?
Yes, 100%. In my opinion, I think right wing is you can argue right wing is their biggest need, because yes, well, wait, hold on. Yeah, while you could say that center back is something that they need to work on, and center defensive mid. If you look at it this way, you have a lot of academy prospects coming through. James Gardner, you can argue, probably needs a shot at the first team. He has been absolutely amazing on his couple of loan deals that he's been on this season. But with United, what they like to do is they like to load the box and they like to play 1-2s and stretch the opponent out in their own final third. And when you have such a disbalance, when you're so disbalanced on the right that you don't have a big threat that can come in and create something. I like Dan James. I think he's great, and I like Mason Greenwood, but he's not now on our right winger. He's not.
No, he doesn't. I think the big thing is that Greenwood, and you can also make this for Rashford, they're strikers. They're guys that want to play strikers. While Rashford has the creativity to play off the wing, he definitely has the skills and the ball control and the technical abilities to play off the wing. Greenwood doesn't. He doesn't have the skill moves or the technical abilities necessary to play off the wing. Dan James is great, but when he has space, when he has space to run in, when he has to play more compact, it doesn't work out. So adding Sancho, I think is one of the moves that should possibly happen. However, from the reports I've seen, they're only going to take Sancho at a cut price. They're not going to spend the 110, 120 million that they've been quoted at last summer. They rather spend between, I think, what I've seen, 70 to 90 million on Jadon Sancho. Ben, what do you make of what do you make of it? Do you think it's still worth it to go after Sancho, even given the fact that you just spent, close to 30, 40 million on Amad Diallo?
Yeah, I 100% think it's worth it. Ahmed Diallo is fluid on the front line. I think that's something that needs to be highlighted. He's number one, young enough if they want to change his position to a left winger to a striker that he can. He has played in those positions before, and with Sancho, you're getting arguably. I mean, you saw the most points they get when he's out is like they average like 0.83 points a game when he's out. I mean, that's an incredible impact you have when they don't even average a draw. They almost average a draw there. Yes, is the price going to be a little steep? Sure, but you know that again with the whole Highland situation, there's been a lot of reports that come out that if they sell Sancho, they're not going to want to sell Highland. And with the fact that Sancho was basically one foot out the door last season, I'd be very surprised if he stayed. I don't know if it's just to United. I could see other clubs coming in, but I'd be very surprised if Sancho stayed this summer.
Yeah, I get that. I get why Sancho might, Sancho might leave. But however, we still have to talk about some of the other clubs that could be interested for him. Obviously, he's been linked to moves back to other clubs, back to the Premier League, not just United. We're talking clubs such as Chelsea, Liverpool, and then obviously abroad. there's always been talks of him going to possibly Real Madrid or Barca or PSG. Um, Ben, what would you say that it is the most likely destination for Sancho if he does leave, and if it's not to United?
Probably Chelsea. Looking at it financially, I don't know if Liverpool can afford it. I know there have been talks of them going and trying to sell Mo Salah. I think we'll talk about it in another episode. But uh, with that being said, I don't see many clubs being able to afford a guy like Jadon Sancho. Remember, we're still coming off a pandemic year. Everyone's been hit. There's no other way to put it. Everyone's been hit. Real Madrid needs to sell, and yeah, when you look at a guy like Rafael Varane, who has been linked to United, who's been linked and quoted at a price of 60 million because of his contract is up, and you look at other players that they can sell, sure, but is right wing in their biggest need of attack? They don't have a standout guy there, but I don't think that that's their biggest need. I think they need to start looking for replacements at midfielder because Kroos and Modric are getting up there. I think you'd have to look at defense as well because you're now going to lose Ramos and Varane potentially. And yes, you might look to get David Alaba, but that contract's going to be a lot of money. So I'd look at those little cut price options that can offer you great potential moving forward for them. So
Right,
I don't know if I think Chelsea would probably be the other team that'd be interested that can afford him.
right. No, of course. Like, and there has to be debate as to what is going to happen with Sancho. If he does go to the United, though, obviously, I think you and I will both be ecstatic. I just don't see it as a priority signing. I see it more so as, give Diallo a chance to actually play on that side. He's only played uh not he's played sparingly. Like, yeah, Solskjaer hasn't played it. He started him, or he's brought him off the bench a few times. Um, you know, I think I think if United do sign Sancho, it might eat into the budget of, whatever they have this summer. Let's say 70, 80 million to spend. It's going to eat into that budget, and to spend it on a right midfielder when you have, I think, honestly, more pressing needs. A center defensive midfielder, I think, is one, and obviously a center back. I think the partnership of Maguire and Lindelof has been talked about extensively, of how not only slow but how costly the mistakes that they make sometimes, because of their slowness and their inability to play together, um, has costed United for some time. Ben, is there any is Sancho going to make a big impact at United? As big as an impact, let's say, of a, more of a center back need, like let's say a Jules Koundé or a Rafael Varane or a Pau Torres.
I think you have to remember those names going in. You say Jules Koundé, you say Pau Torres. I think out of those three names that you said, I think Rafael Varane would be the best fit. Because he's covered extensively for Ramos, so now you come in and cover for Maguire. He'd be 100% the best fit. However, that might be a pipe dream moving forward. He might sign a new contract there. We don't know what that situation is going to look like. We have to wait till the summer. With Sancho, I think it gives you a decent upgrade. Like, remember, Solskjaer is coming from Solskjaer is coming from the fact of he came from a United team, especially in '99, that had the second, the third, the fourth option. Guys like Nicky Butt would get into midfields with uh, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. Like you'd have like four strikers that'd be available for you to use. I think that's what he wants. You see the emergence of guys like Shortire and Alanga playing with the first team. They're not going to get first team minutes all the time, but what they're going to do is going to get the opportunity to test themselves in practice. And the same thing with Amad Diallo. Look, I like Amad Diallo, and I think that he has a bright future. I think we've seen we've seen with the limited play time that he has, and that is in his career at Atalanta, that he has something. He has a lot of talent, and he has a lot of
Right,
potential to work with. But getting a guy like Jadon Sancho, and then, oh, well, you need to sub Jadon Sancho off. Okay, you have a replacement. Remember, one of the biggest things that United need to look at in the transfer window, besides the couple things that we mentioned, is replacement at number 9. Because do you really trust Martial as your striker? And then they look at Greenwood. Okay, that's 2 strikers. Looking at moving forward, yes, you can rely on you can rely on saying, oh well, we have these youngsters, we have these guys, but you also have to rely on, okay, but we're saying second's an improvement. Well, what's an improvement on second? First, getting a guy like Jadon Sancho will make you push for the title.
Right. Now we've heard that Fabrizio Romano, the transfer god, obviously he's come out several times and has said several times during last summer and this summer, or this past few weeks of transfer windows, that Dortmund don't want to sell at a cut price, and United are looking to buy on a cut price for Sancho. Even Dortmund CEO Watzke, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, came out and said a few hours ago that there is not going to be any cut price deals for either for any of their stars this summer. It's something that we heard last summer as well. For Sancho, I'm assuming he's talking about Holland this time around, or possibly both. Just one final thought for you is the fact that you know he might not be United might not be able to get him. It might come down to what do you prioritize, and they might look at it and it's like, okay, well, we can get Rafinha for like 30, 40 million at Leeds and then spend, let's say, you know, the other 50 to 60 million on a center defensive midfielder or center back or however they want to play. Obviously, United rely on a lot of net spend. So obviously they also with the transfer budget they also sell to buy. Obviously, we could talk about Pogba possibly leaving, getting Cavani's wages off the books, possibly selling Lingard this summer as well. There's definitely some options that United can present in terms of what they can do. However, it's apparent that sometimes that it might not work out to a degree. It might that there are other priorities and there's going to be other cut price options because we've seen United do it before. That let's say number one is Jadon Sancho, but option 3, 4 it could be let's say Rafinha from Leeds or Ismail Sarr from Watford. They rather go for someone that's not going to cost them over the moon, even though even though the number one option is obviously a world class player.
No, I agree, and I think that it will be. I think it probably will be another transfer saga that we'll see move into August. In my opinion, we'll see. We're getting closer to that because Dortmund are idiots to work with because they don't know their budget. Because realistically, they're playing at a deficit. They spent a lot last season on transfers. I think a lot of people forget that they spent a good amount on transfers without selling much, and now you're going in with, well, we need money, but we're not going to sell our guys at cut prices. Jadon Sancho, after this year, is going to be on like 1 or 2 years left. I know that was a whole big thing that
Yeah, I think his contract's up in 2023, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, and he already they already know he wants to leave. It is he isn't going to be a guy that's going to come out and say, "Oh, I want to leave. I'm not going to play." He's not like a Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang kind of player. He's going to
Right.
be there and say, "Okay, look, please make this move happen." The fact of the matter is, they're not playing at an advantage anymore. They're not. With the reports coming out that United are probably going to look to spend 80 million on it, when remember they're still getting payments back for Lukaku. They're still benefiting from the fact that they got Alexis Sanchez off their books. They're going to get Cavani's 10 million wages off their books. That Pogba is most likely going to leave. They're going to have some wiggle room. I'm not saying they're going to have like 300 million to spend. The Glazers never do that, but they're going to have some wiggle room. And the fact of the matter is, when you
We
look at
also
it,
have to assume they also have the revenue from, let's say, if they do go further in the Europa League and the being second in the Premier League, they get those
yeah,
bonuses as well. The Champions League
team
bonus
viewer,
as well.
the
Making
team
make
viewer T-shirt, yeah.
what?
The team viewer logo on
Yeah,
the
that's true.
jersey.
That's true. Um, no, United definitely have opportunity. Their budget's probably going to be a little bit bigger given the fact of the success that they've had this season in their competitions. However, against the Glazers, they don't really give their managers a whole lot to work with.
Yeah, and that's true. That's 100% true. I mean, I think the outrage on Super Bowl Sunday from England was not the fact that a team won. It was the fact that the Glazers spent 50 million on a player for on a 43-year-old player where they won't spend 80 on a
Right. No,
guy
that's
that's
the big
yeah.
thing. That's the issue. It's not that Tom Brady. It's not Tom Brady is. It's not the issue of bringing in Tom Brady. It's the fact that they won't do the same for their other assets, and their
Yeah.
other asset is Manchester United. Um.
However, there is some movement there. I think they're starting to sell a lot of their stocks. I'm pretty sure that's just a business move.
Yeah,
But I think they sold off like 100 million of their stocks, which is insane. But I think that's just liquidating of their
I think so
portfolio.
too. I don't think it's much in that. I don't think there's many stocks in that. All right, I'm sorry.
You know what? You make fun of me for making bad jokes. All right.
All right. Well, that's gonna be it for us. Thank you guys so much for listening. Let us know in the comment section down below where you think Jadon Sancho is gonna end up, where he might go. Is he still destined for United? Is it still a possibility that United is the best option for him? Let us know in the comment section down below. Also, if you don't mind, make sure to like and subscribe as well. We're gonna be posting more videos on the channel, more content coming out to you. Also, again, if you haven't checked out our podcast, links to Spotify and Apple Music. Links to our podcast are going to be in the description down below, as well as to all our social media. Ben, is there one thing you want to say to the beautiful people out there?
Um, no.
All right. That's going to be it for us. Take it easy. Have a good one, and peace.